getting ready to send the juniors out in the grid order for the third and final race here at round 8 of the Slideways Go-Karting World Series. Here's pole man Chad Hewitt, Elliot Cleary grid 2, Libby Herbison grid 3, Carter Skews grid 4. All 4 of them have won races this year. Luke Jacobson out of grid 5. Driven a fantastic effort all day. Jude Livermore, grid 6. Fantastic race for him in race 2. They're carving through the field. From grid 6 he finished 3rd. Ethan Bryson 4th. He's 3rd in the series. Jet Johnson is 8th. Jack Stimson is 9th. Braden Hill is out of grid 10. Campbell McMillan grid 11. In card 11. Bailey Callahan out of grid 12. And Jordan Durrington out of 13. Slater Anderson, unfortunately, is a withdrawal. He's feeling a little crook. We get ready for our third and final race. Stephen, this should be a cracker. The first two have put on some great racing, and I'm sure this is going to be no different.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens here. Obviously, the first race, there's a little bit of a gap from the leader back, but really close bunch of racing there in that chook race, reverse grid, or partly reverse grid race. So there are a couple here that I think is just starting slightly back to what they were because of obviously that second race. So I think it's going to be very, very close. Obviously the first race there, we got Chad Hewitt, who was really, really good on the first couple of laps on cold tyres and got that gap. We'll see if he tries to do that again. That's obviously his plan, but he's got some pretty quick kids around him too. So we'll see what happens on the start, and we'll obviously they'll make a plan after the first couple of laps to see what position they're running and how it's travelling.
That's right, and settle into their little bit of rhythm. Jude Livermore is going to be one to watch here in cart 15 out of grid 6. He really carved through him in that second race. Got a solid field here. I'm obviously joined in commentary for this race by Stevie Johnson. It's great to have Steve here with us. Young Jet out here having a run in the karts. He was one of the quickest in that last race as well. And Jet lines up on grid 8. 20-minute race, about 24 laps will be the duration. Chad Hewitt, as mentioned, on pole. He was the fastest qualifier, won the first race. Grid 2, Elliot Cleary. Those two have been pretty much nose to tail all year. Libby Herbison out of grid 3. She won the second race. She also won the previous round. So we know she's a hard charger as young Liv. I'm just watching her throw her gloves on right at the last minute. She's leaving that to the death. I'll be concentrating. Rightio, we're getting ready for a start. And here we go. They're off and racing. A very good start by Libby Herbison out of grid 3. So as I said that, she was sort of getting prepared a bit late, but bang, she was on it. It's probably the best start of anyone there. And it's Chad Hewitt leading the way from Ellie Cleary, Liv Herbison, Carter Skews, Luke Jacobson, Jude Livermore, Ethan Bryson, Jenny Johnson, Jack Stimson, Braden Hill, Campbell McMillan, Bailey Callahan and Jordan Durrington round out our field of races today. Slater Anderson unfortunately had to go home, feeling a bit crook after the first race. And here we go, a little gap. Chad Hill, we'll keep our eyes on the gap in this race. Lily Herbison's a hot charger in this one. A great start, and she's right onto it. They come down past the line on the first lap. That gap, it's half a second. Half a second he's managed to pull Steve on the first lap. It counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does count. Not as big a gap as he had in the first race. Now, we can see the top three there still within sort of cart and a half of each other, so he hasn't gotten away as much as he probably would have liked. It's actually, the gap's probably closed up to P2.
And has Ellie Cleary's on a cracker on this particular lap. See, look at ebbs and flows. In certain corners, certain drivers are doing it different. And yeah, that's really ebbing and flowing that gap. So he's quick leading onto the straight section, but Elliott's very quick over the back section of the track. Libby Herbison still there keeping him honest. Carter Skew's right up behind her. Little bit of a gap back to Luke Jacobson, who's been a solid driver all day today. And here we go. Here's that group of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 again. their nose to tail. Those drivers being Jude Livermore, Ethan Bryson, Jet Johnson, Jack Stimson, Braden Hill and Campbell McMillan in particular. And literally you'd be able to throw a blanket over them in just about all the races. They've been so close. But here we go. Start of lap 3, I think it is now. And it's Chad Hewitt, that gap. Half a second still. That was the gap he had. Oh, Karting up the inside of Libby Herbison. He had a look, couldn't quite pull it off. He's gone the over and under. Here we go. They're side by side as they head down the back section of the track. But Libby manages to hold the inside, our race 2 winner, and defend that position. But this in turn has allowed Luke Jacobson to get up on the bottom, on the back of them. And go Luke.
So it's the fastest on the track at the moment. You can just see there, when we were chatting before the previous lap, he must have made a mistake, but he's caught up now to Chad Hewitt.
0.4 of a second. Elliot Cleary hasn't given up. He's going to be on them. He won the Slideways, round 2 of the Slideways Triple Challenge, which is being run for any driver, junior, senior, whatever, at Go-Karting Brisbane. Slideways Go-Karting Brisbane just on Friday night. So he's been doing some laps in the karts, and he beat Jackson Faulkner at that one, and he's a hard one to beat, but it was a commanding win he had. So he's got the eye in, and these two have been racing literally nose to tail all year. And they're on again. It's Chad Hewitt, Ellie Cleary, bit of a gap back to Liv Herbison, Karting, Luke Jacobson, Jude Livermore, Ethan Bryson, Jet Johnson, Jack Stimson, Campbell McMillan, Braden Hill and Jordan Durrington. And Bailey Callahan, sorry, rounding out the field. He's just dropped back a little bit there. But mate, this is on. There's nothing in it. It's 0.3 of a second across the line that lap. Now let's see, can he do it? There's one thing getting on the back of Chad Hewitt. It's going to be another thing getting around. But Elliot has proven he's a fast racer. Dominant performance by him in the first 2 rounds of this year. And Chad Hewitt certainly then raised the bar himself. And it's really been between those two for the majority of it. Saying that, last round was won by Livy Herbison. And the round before was won by Carter Skews. So what's that gap now? 0.29. So this will go down the wire.
The last few laps have just been pulling him in, just a couple of tenths one lap, tenth the next lap, half a tenth that lap. So you can just tell now he's right on the back of him, and you don't need to see a lap time to see how far he's behind. He's that 1.5 car lengths behind the time he's going to seesaw as they get through certain parts of the track. Some are quicker, Chad's quicker in some parts, Elliot's quicker in the other.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Steve. And I can tell you one thing, Chad won't want to make any errors because Elliot will be right through on him. With a bit of a gap then back to 3rd position, Libby Herbison, Carter Skews. Then have Luke Jacobson behind them, but then the big main group of 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. And that's Livermore, Bryson, Johnson and Stimson. And they're all in close quarters. But here we go, we've got a pack of 2. They cross the line again, that gap this lap. 0.26. So there's nothing in it. Liv Herbison, Carter Skews pulled a little gap back on Luke Jacobson. Oh, there we go. That was Ethan Bryson having a look at Jude Livermore there. They're running 6th and 7th. Jetty Johnson, he's got in on the action here. And he's got Jack Stimson behind him. So even amongst those 4, this can go any way as the laps count down. It's about 15 laps to go. Normal races here, 10-minute durations, about 12 laps. This one was scheduled for around 24. Oh, Liv Herbison a little sideways there out of turn 1 on that lap. A group of 4 head through. Oh, here we go, move on. Jude Livermore, it doesn't work out. Jetty Johnson tries to pounce on that. Oh, doesn't quite get it in there. So that was a move by Ethan Bryson. He's 3rd in the series. He had a look. He's quite fast out of turn 1. And he's been looking up the inside of Livermore. He went for a bit of a go there, but didn't quite work out. And Jetty Johnson tried to pounce on that. Our leaders cross the line again, nothing in it. Both lapping in 39.6s, like look at the last lap time, 39.674 versus 39.675. Stevie, it doesn't get better than that.
Massively close, and these guys on the front are pushing each other along. That's the biggest thing for Chad now. He's got to try to not make any mistakes, as Ethan's right on his hammer up the top section of the circuit, popping up behind the workshop here. Just loses that kart length. So as I said, it's a little bit of swings and roundabouts between corners here.
Yeah, that's right. Chad's certainly a little quicker in certain areas, and Elliot's quicker in others, and he's one of them. Through one into two, he seems to have that little bit. Here we go. Here's the main pack, led by Jude Livermore in 6. Then nose to tail 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Jordan Durrington's decided to get in on this pack. Boys, that looks like a bit of fun. I'm in on the action. A little bit of a gap then back to Bailey Callahan, who's been improving his times considerably. And to give you an idea, boys and girls, every single driver here is into the 40s. Even Campbell McMillan, who's currently rounding out our field, his best lap is 40.3. There's literally less than 6-7 tenths covering best laps by this whole field. Jude Livermore's pulled a little gap on Ethan Bryson this time. He can't afford to sneeze. He has Jack Johnson and Jack Stimson, Jordan Durrington right behind him. Then as mentioned, little gap back to Bailey Callahan, then Braden Hill and Campbell McMillan. And Stevie, all of them are low 40s. It's the slowest lap time.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it? Not long ago, these guys are doing 42s, so some of them were. Just goes to show, once you get that last little bit, it's very hard to get that, to crack in. And Jet just been coming in a couple of times, and he's only just cracked into 39s today. So, that it's easy to take big chunks, but now once you're into the 40s, very hard to make gains from that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we find one will lead, when round similar pace dudes, they all edge themselves that bit closer. They use each other as a carrot as such. A bit like the greyhound racing, they're chasing the bunny, makes them go that bit quicker. Chatty doing a great job out here in front. Ellie Cleary certainly hasn't given up the chase. Both those two, 39.5, 6 on that last lap. Carter Skews has gone with Livy Herbison there for third. They're racing to the finish, that's for sure.
Chad just said his fastest lap.
Chad Hewitt, fast lap that lap, you're right. 39.58. But the fast lap of the race actually 39.57 by Elliot Cleary. She must have set the lap before. Some crackingly good pace out there. Now Jude Livermore seemed to have a little bit of a gap on them before. It's a smidge, but there's nothing in it. He can't afford to make an error. Leaders cross the line again. They're crackingly good pace. 39.8 for Hewitt. Elliott, got all those good runs out of turn one. He's very fast, turn one up to turn two. And he's right back on the hunt. Luke Herbison's matching those times, as his Carter Skews. Luke Jacobson's doing a really solid job there in 5th place. He's kept his nose clean and been a solid runner all day today. It's quite a gap back from Luke Jacobson, about 12 seconds back to Jude Livermore. So it's Chad Hewitt still in the lead. 0.23 is the gap. There's nothing in it. Jude Livermore's managed to pull away a little again. We see them come across the straight, but there's nothing in it. Chad Hewitt, Ellie Cleary, they're still nose to tail. They've got a sizable gap of about 5.5 seconds back to third place, Liv Herbison and Carter Skews. And then another about 4 seconds back to Luke Jacobson, who is the best part of 10 seconds then ahead of that 6th place gap. This is really going down the wire with these two at the front. That's crackingly good pace. 24 laps was the schedule. And they've done about 18 laps so far, so about 6 laps to go. So leaders cross the line again. Every single lap these boys are doing. Well, it slowed up at that lap, but 40.1s, 40.0, but traditionally they've been doing mid-39s pretty much the entire race. That is super fast pace. And back to the racing here, and it's Chad Hewitt still leads onto the straight from Ellie Cleary. There's nothing in it. 39.74 versus 39.78 that lap. The gap is 0.29. You can see the gap, don't worry about it. There's nothing in it, absolutely nothing. Liv Herbison doing a solid job in third. She's managed to pull slightly away from Carter Skews. Luke Jacobson doing a solid drive there in 5th spot. Chad Hewitt, Ellie Cleary cross the line again. 39.8 versus 39.7 that lap. 0.2 is still the gap. So the pace is that quick in this race. We predicted it would be a 24-lap race, but their pace at the front's that quick. They're going to finish that too early, so it'll be a few more laps than that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at the timing screen, it's showing now 8 laps left. It was showing 3. So it's a super fast race. Pace at the front, but they've only been going about 14 minutes at this point, so tell you what, he's done a good job succumbing to this pressure the whole time. Chad Hewitt from Ellie Cleary. Steve, what do you reckon?
I'll tell you what, mate, adding laps to this because the pace is so fast, a bit of lap traffic could come into play here, so it's going to make it very interesting the last 2 or 3 laps.
You're right, yeah, well pointed out. Oh, look at this. Ethan, oh, here's another look. Ethan Bryson on Jude Livermore, Jetty Johnson right up behind him. He throw a blanket over those 3 all race. Our leaders cross the line again. And Stevie's right, there is going to be lap traffic in this, ladies and gentlemen, with maybe a lap or 2 to go. Or at the pace they're running, last lap, 40, these two just consistently, so consistently close and fast. That is, I don't think I've ever seen a race here with such fast pace the whole duration. That's unbelievable.
There's only been a handful of laps in this race that the leaders have been in the 40s. Majority of it's all been 39, which is super fast.
It is super fast, you're right there. Now our leaders back onto the straight. Ellie Cleary's all over Chad Hewitt, but Chad's still leading. That's the smallest margin I've seen across the line, 0.19. They've eased their pace off just a little as they're obviously dicing. Back to Liv Herbison, who's lapping very consistently in the 39.9s. She's about 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds adrift. Then we have another couple of seconds back to Carter Skews. 7 more seconds back to Luke Jacobson, and then this gaggle of pretty much 6, 7 cars going nose to tail. And that's led by Jude Livermore, Ethan Bryson, Jet Johnson, Jack Stimson, Campbell McMillan, Jordan Durrington, Bailey Callahan and Braden Hill. Here we go, boys and girls. It's Chad Hewitt still in the lead. Nothing in it. Elliot Cleary second. These two have been pushing each other all year and they're raising the bar for each other. They're quite competitive amongst themselves, but at the end of the day, as we learned when we were kids, you need good competition to raise your own bar, don't you, Steve?
Well, you're not going to learn out there on your own. I mean, you'll learn to a certain extent, but it's not pushing you. You've got to pass up here. In behind, I think it was Cameron McMillan passing Jack Stimson then.
And Steve will go back to the front of the pack here. Here we go. The leaders are about to come across their first bit of lap traffic. That's Braden Hill. He does a good job, moves aside, doesn't hinder the race leaders. And that is led by Chad Hewitt and Ellie Cleary. There's nothing in it. But yeah, look at this gaggle of six back onto the main straight. Jude Livermore. We're getting close, it looks like, to get the last lap ball. Yeah, the last lap ball's about to come out. Here we go. Stevie J, it's the last lap. This is going to be a cracker. Look at Ellie Cleary's all over Chad Hewitt. Oh, literally nothing in it, and have been ebbing and flowing in certain areas of the track. This is going down to the wire. Here we go, they're up over the back section of the track, around near the trashed race chutes. So lead back onto the straight here, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Chad Hewitt. Takes victory from Ellie Cleary. What a race. Literally nothing in it. Great job there by Liv Herbison to secure third. Pulled a bit of a gap in the end on Carter Skews. Carter with the faster lap time, but he seemed to have dropped off a bit of pace there as that race went on. Great job by Luke Jacobson getting fifth. He's been a standout all day and really come forward in leaps and bounds. But here's the big race on for 6 on. This is where a lot of the action's been, and it's Jude Livermore. Jude Livermore secures 6 from Ethan Bryson, Jenny Johnson, Campbell McMillan, Jack Stimson. Bailey Callahan also getting himself in amongst that. Jordan Durrington and Braden Hill round out our field. What a race. That was fantastic stuff.